is that a natural child? You're not conceiving naturally. This guy is making clones. He's taking some of your DNA and putting it in an egg and taking it and putting it in a surrogate woman. And she's part of the process of the clone. And the clone has no soul, no seed. He's a lab rat. Oh, let me explain to you a lot better. When you are eating food that are they're non-GMOs. You know what I'm talking about? They're non-GMOs are natural, organic, created by God. GMOs are the ones, you know what I'm talking about, that are non-GMOs. The animals and the insects won't eat them. You know what I'm talking about? They'll look and they'll see that the seedless watermelon, the seedless apple, the insects or the animals say, oh, hell no, I'm not eating that. They see the monster, but you guys are like, oh, this is some grape, because my brain is taught to see grape. Oh, this is some seedless grapes. This is some seedless watermelon, seedless orange, seedless lemons. Your mind is telling you, oh, this looks like it, it tastes like it, but you don't even know what you're eating. It's genetically modified by man. It's genetically modified by man. Modified, changed. The word modify means it is genetically altered and changed by man. So what the hell are you eating? Oh, the insects say, well, I can see it's a monster and I don't want it. So let me run on and let it just sit on the ground because I'm not touching it. And here go man.
What I would really like to know is there any salvation for those children?
For what children?
For the children that's born out of artificial.
You're talking about man's children.
Man's children, yes.
Maybe he's gonna be the one that's maybe he's gonna grow up to enslave you. Because he doesn't have no soul. He doesn't have no compassion. He doesn't have no love. So it's easy for him to kill you. And you say, wait a minute, why is it so easy for this person to kill me? Oh, could it be because he doesn't have a soul, no compassion, no love, no desire? And he's telling you to jump off the building instead of, do you remember the movie? One of the old movies, it was called The Body Snatcher. And they were cloning people and they were killing the real bodies, the real children of God, and they cloned them. And they couldn't determine who was clones and who were God's children. So they got somebody to jump off act like he's going to jump off the buildings. Well, the body snatchers, clones were saying, jump, jump. They didn't have no compassion. And the other people was crying and saying, no, don't jump. They had compassion. They had love. Because that's what it's going to boil down to in the future. Those who have compassion and love and those who have not an inkling idea will kill you in a New York minute. So is that a child of God? One that has no soul, no seed? And he comes upon you and he kill you and he won't think nothing about it because he don't got no compassion. He has no feeling, no emotion, doesn't know who God is, doesn't know what love is, doesn't know what happiness is. How about that? Well, does that help you a little bit?
Terrifies the hell out of us because these man-made children are going to be in some capacity in school with God's children. And
that's right. And if you go look at the old body snatcher movies, look at the old black and white ones, because that'll teach you they're cloning. And they were taking and they would do that. They were being sneaky. They were killing out God's children and replacing them with clones. Look at the old black and white body snatchers. I think it's about 3 or 4 of them. Google them. They'll tell you how many, and then you'll get the idea of what I'm talking about.
I remember those.
Well, hold on 1 second. Hold 1 second. Hi, I had to take that call for a moment. It was one of my children calling.
Oh yes, we must respond to the children.
Well, yeah, you gotta respond to that, or your husband, children and husband. Yes, and wives.
I would be gone.
Well, I thought that would give y'all a little break for a second.
Yeah, but I do want to say this because I've been trying to get this out. So, in studying the scripture, as I was saying earlier, it's clear in the scripture about this blood, and I've always was interested in that. So one of the things with Noah, when people think that Noah was like he was something great and awesome, special about him, but what people don't realize was that the reason why Noah was chosen is because God didn't find no error in his bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His blood was correct. So in studying that, I always knew in studying the Bible that meant something. You know what I'm saying? Noah's blood was correct. That, meant something to God. So then you study it and see that during that time that the human's blood got mixed with the Nephilim, which was the so-called fallen angels that was on the earth. So then I continued to study, and when we studied Revelations, it always stuck in my head, this in Revelations. It says, at the end of time, the book of life will be open. God knows all the names that's in the book of life. Those who are not in the book of life is thrown to the lake of fire. So now I always said to myself, all God's children got to be in the book of life. Anyone who was ever born is in the book of life because we're all God's children. But who won't be in the book of life, I guess, would be the children of the demons, the children of the fallen angels. And I'm trying to understand now, is it these kids that's being born
The men
through the men children? So is this going to be a whole world when the book of life, you're not in the book of life?